Okay, I think I'm ready ค่ะ Okay ค่ะ just try to adjust the view a bit. Okay ค่ะ my name is นุชดานะคะ I'm actually I'm in the Department of English and also committee for the MA and PhD in English Language Studies, or we call ELS at Thammasat University. So actually today it's about the mock class, okay, and welcome you all and good morning. Okay. Um, Actually, it's more about the everyday things that we see in everyday life. Okay, but we talk about it with the theoretical support for the concept and example and things that we gonna discuss today. Okay, and feel free to join. Okay, if you have anything, or maybe you can type in the box. Okay. Um, so let me talk about this. The slide, you see the second slide, right? It should be the ELS courses.
Yes, we
Yes.
can see.
Okay,ค่ะ. Because the other day, the slide moved with me on my screen, but not on your screen. So I just need to double check that. Okay, for the ELS program, okay, actually we have many courses related to intercultural communication. But today we're gonna talk about it in general because but I will touch on it a bit for each of the course. The four courses that we have are different. The first one is EG 630. That's one. It's a required course for the MA program. Seem to talk about the how language, culture, and identity interact with each other and influence one another. Because when you speak different language, the identity, how you see yourself is different too. That's one seem to focus on that more like basic concept, theoretical concept. Um, the other three classes is gonna be for PhD program. It's they are elective, but one thing about the ELS program is that we have the MA students and also PhD students together in elective courses, and it's good in a way that students they support each other and then they share experiences. So it's more like we get the feedback or suggestion and the discussion from the two group of students from the MA student and also PhD students. So the other three classes about intercultural communication, the first one it seemed to be more like in a professional setting. Okay, this one because our program it's about English language studies for those who want to work in professional in work in business context in practical field and also in academic too. So for this one, this course EG 736, it seemed to be more like those who work in the business setting or professional. This one will talk about how intercultural communication is applied in the work setting or the workplace. So might touch a bit on more like diversity and inclusion and organizational identity, culture, and also um, the way that employees take in the organizational identity mixed with their own identity too. Next one, which this is the EG 737. It's seem to be a specific context because it's going to be for those who interested in translation and interpretation. So this one, we talk about the how to apply intercultural communication in translation because when you translate more like interpret messages in different culture, you have different approaches to do. Like for example, if you're gonna do the translation for the series, okay, imported series, let's say Chinese or maybe from Korean, okay, and you have to translate it maybe in English or maybe in Thai. So you have to think about what approaches that you're gonna use. The next one is e.g. 738, that one seemed to be intercultural in, I can say that in practice in general, okay, in everyday life. But this one, because the way that we communicate it changed. So that's why intercultural in this class seemed to put another lens or another perspective from communication studies, okay, and also talk about the media roles in that too, the influence of media on the intercultural communication. So actually, this one we will talk about it too. So you can see that the four classes, they focus on different things. So that's why today I'm going to talk about intercultural communication in general, but touch on it a bit for each course. Next one, okay, it's actually if it is the whole class is 3 hours, we're gonna have more agenda, but today it's just more like just 1 hour, so we can touch on more like the key components of what effective intercultural communication. So you can see three words here, okay? Key components, effective, okay? We're gonna talk about it too. And another one is the term intercultural communication or intercultural interaction. So the focus is gonna be about that, and then actually, I mentioned earlier we talk about media influence or communication technology influences too. So that's going to be about the current trends and issues because it influences the way that you communicate with others from different culture. So for this one, okay, okay. On your screen, it should be the yellow slide, okay? If it's not, please let me know. This is the quote, okay, from Dale Carnegie. He is the well-known American author and also writer and trainer in terms of public speaking, okay? So let's see his words first. Okay. Thank you, Ka. Um, so you can see there. So you can see from this one, there are 4 ways. Okay, actually, this is a quote a long time ago. There are 4 ways, and only 4 ways in which we have contact with the world. We are evaluated and classified by those 4 contacts: what we do, how we look, what we say, and how we say it. Okay, do you agree or disagree? Yes or no? Why or and? Agree or disagree? Um. While you are still thinking about it, okay, talk about it. This one, how this related to intercultural communication, because let me talk about the term evaluated and classified first. That is very related to intercultural communication because by human nature, um, whenever we get together as a group, big group, smaller group, society, community, okay, we tend to classify ourselves first, okay? We try to divide it into groups, into levels. Um, for example, if you get together as a group work, okay, the first thing you divide might be by roles. Who's gonna be the leader? Who's gonna be the coordinator? Who's gonna do the paperwork? Who's gonna do the people job? So those are the things that we classify by role and status. Some communities, some groups, some society, some culture, the way that they classify it is different too. And we have to be aware of that when we communicate. Some of the community or society, they might classify it by socioeconomic status, some by race, some by religion, some by caste system, like for example in India, some by the other values that they have in that society. So normally when we classify people into groups, the way that we communicate is different. That related to culture too. And it's not just that we evaluate each other too. And the way that we are evaluated and classified, it's by what we do, which is this one seem to be more about social science, okay? It's about behavior, okay? Uh, if you do something different from the majority, you might be seen less acceptable. Okay, that is the way that the classification and influence the way how we evaluate each other. How we look, this is definitely related to intercultural communication because normally we tend to see culture it's related to who look similar or different from us. This one it tend to be more like physical appearance, okay? The hair, the skin, and other things that it's easily observed. What we say it's the language, which is about this program, okay? And how we say it, this is about communication. Um, it tend to be influenced by context, okay? Okay, this is that's why it's more like I think it's some it is something to think about that actually when we talk about intercultural communication, this more like the basic thing that just lead us to understand each culture and interact more effectively. Okay. Well, this one, okay,ค่ะ Okay. Okay, let me just for each of you, you may think about when you imagine when you imagined about the intercultural communication, what is the first picture comes to your mind? Okay, so give you some time to think about it. Maybe less than a minute or maybe a minute. Okay, and maybe you can type. Okay, whether the picture that you have in your mind is someone is different or similar to you. Okay, different from you or similar to you. So if you have picture in your mind, you may type whether it's different or similar, different from you or similar to you. Okay, it's someone from another culture, and also someone different. Okay, actually, it's like that. We normally, when we think about the term intercultural communication, we seem to think about someone look different, or in some way. It could be language, it could be the look, okay, the way that they dress, okay, um, or maybe someone from another culture, okay. Um, okay, so let me, for context. These four contexts refer to evaluation classification from the current research trend in this field. Are there many more contexts in relation in IC beside this one? Yes, ค่ะ Um, yes, ค่ะ it depends on the questions. Okay, let me read the question first. These four contexts implicitly refer to the evaluation and classification. Considering from the current research trend in this field, are there any more contexts in relation to IC beside these four? Yes, ค่ะ. It depends on what lens that you use to study intercultural communication. If you look at the communication perspective, it's gonna be a lot more, okay? And we will talk more in detail for that. If you look from the language, there are some other factors too that influence on that. If you look for the more like sociology or sociolinguistic perspective, there's another factor, okay, or other factors, okay, that influence. Um, we would talk about that. Actually, when we talk about intercultural communication, it's very complicated. It's complex in a way because um it's close to you, okay? Especially nowadays, the way that we communicate, it's changed because we communicate online, right? We have both offline and online platform. But in a way, it could be in general, it could be specific, in a way. So it depends on in what area that you want to focus on. If you're gonna apply the intercultural communication in the more like language classroom, there's other things too that could influence that. Okay. I'm not sure whether I answer your question or not, but if you have any comment or suggestion or question, feel free to type in the chat box. So this is normally when we imagine the intercultural, okay. Thank you,ค่ะ. When we imagine the intercultural communication, actually, people think about someone who look different or have some kind of different qualities from you. Okay, this is just something with my device that when I click it, it just doesn't go. So I have to go back and do this change the slide every time. Okay. Sorry ค่ะแป๊บนะคะ should be this one. Okay. This one it just asks ChatGPT. Okay. If you see it's getting a picture of the two pictures. Okay, of two person. It just asks ChatGPT to create the image of two person in the intercultural communication. And this is what they did it for me, the ChatGPT. Okay, so you can see that in this picture, yes, between two person from I mean, two-person in intercultural communication, they look different, okay? And also gender in that is a part of it, the way that they dress. And from the look that we see, we can see many differences between the two, okay? What kind of differences that you can see that I didn't mention? One is maybe language might not observable here. They might speak the same language, but they come from different culture. Gender is one of the differences. What else คะมีไหมคะ Any other differences? Maybe race, okay. Yes, religion. That's right. Okay, thank you ค่ะ So you can see identity, yes ค่ะ talking style, yes. That's right. So you can see that when we talk about the intercultural communication, the first picture that come to mind is some seem to focus on differences. Okay, but actually the way that to be effective in intercultural communications, it's opposite, the other way around. It just try to see something in common. Okay. We'll talk about it later. Now the next one, okay. We have 7 sentences, okay, 7 statements, okay. Number 1, okay. Do you think number 1 is intercultural communication? Yes, no. Why or and okay, yes or no? Yes, ค่ะ Actually, this one I adapted from another source. Okay, they use the term like number 1 should be Americans and African. Okay, share their views, but they try to make it neutral language. So I changed it from to be person. Okay, from the U.S. and Africa. So that's why the meaning, the interpretation might change a bit, okay? Because person from the US and Africa, they might have their it doesn't indicate more like nationality, okay, national identity or racial identity, okay. But yes, the first one is intercultural. Number two, politicians or from China and US discuss a solution. Actually, the original one is Chinese and American politicians. This one seemed to be yes too. Number three, this one tricky a bit. Female talks with a male. Yes or no? You can observe that I put more like just to number one, number two, it's different, but the rest I try to focus on just two persons, okay? Because it's an interaction. We just talk about we limit just two person first. Female and male, it depends. Okay. Actually, normally gender, we seem to see gender as more like personal characteristic, okay, about the identity. But actually, so that's why gender seems to be overlooked to as the cultural dimension. Actually, gender is culture because next we're going to talk about the meaning of culture. So the way that we define culture, if we look at gender, it's a part of cultural group. Okay. Number four, generation. A person from Gen X, okay, supervise a person from Gen Z. This is intercultural communication. Um, I would say yes, yes at this point, okay, but we talk about it later or maybe at the end of the class, okay. Because each generation they have different worldview based on their life experiences and also things that happen in a certain period of time along their lifespan. But this one, why I say that is yes, just at this for this moment, because um, nowadays we talk about generation a lot, and we seem to think that we seem to use generations as a way to differentiate people who are born in different periods of time. But the concept of generation actually um, um, there is no I can say that there is no research to back up, or there is no empirical evidence to say that general generations exist. Because we classify by age categories, and then when we do the study, normally we use the eight categories. But if you think about certain cultures, certain society, a community, people in certain society or in certain culture, they have different experiences and also a major event that happen in their culture differently. So the way that we classified generation and put people around the world into the same generation categories, it might not be enough to explain the characteristic of each generation. For example, like we have baby boomer, but baby boomer it's a generation characteristic that explain based on the Western culture at the time that they are affected. They were affected a lot by the World War. But on our side, the Asian side, we are less affected by that. So we don't know for sure whether we have that baby boomer, and or even we have it, whether it's going to be the same characteristic that share with those in the Western culture or not. So I can say that it's a part of intercultural communication, but we have more concrete way um, to study about the characteristic of each generation for a certain culture. Number five, okay. When people from different organizational culture, let's say private organization and from government sector, do they interact? And then we called it intercultural communication. It could be, okay, could be. Number six and number seven. Number six, okay, teenager speaks with the grandparents. Do you think it's intercultural communication? Help me with this one, yes or no? ค่ะ Is it yes or no? Not sure. Okay. Okay, maybe move on to this one first. The number seven, this one I think it's interesting because if we have a student, okay, number four is in the same category as number. You mean number uh you mean number six, right? A part of it, yes, it's a part of it's a part of yeah, it's different generations. If we use the generations as a framework to study, yes, but a part of it, yes, okay. But if we use some people say that if we use generations as framework to study intercultural communication, I mean put generation as a cultural group, you need more things to evaluate to validate general generation differences. Some people say that you might use more like let's say it's a lifespan, okay? It's more like people in each age range, they might have different interests, different language that they share within the same group. So within the same age group, and then they interact with another age group, or another person who has that lifespan period, okay, like younger and older. Um, it could be another perspective too. Six and seven, maybe yes, if they come from different culture. Yes, ค่ะ in a way ค่ะ Okay, we talk about it later. One of the thing is that we have to this is what I want to talk about it is that maybe we have to think about what does it mean by culture because um if we talk about culture in terms of we have something in common in terms of speak the same language, okay? We have some kind of values, okay? Some kind of shared behavior, share history, share belief, okay? If we look at that way, teenager could be when teenager interact with their grandparents, teenager may use their language, okay? That it's common within teenager and use that kind of word to talk with grandparents. So the grandparents might not understand that. Like for example, in Thai, teenager now they have their own slang. More like it's a Thai word, but the meaning is different. Okay. For example, sorry, this is going to be Thai language. The example like เขิน, okay, เขิน, เขิน it's but the meaning of เขิน for teenager they might use the word เหยิน heyeon it's another meaning but they use it in the meaning of เขิน okay so if they say that เหยิน talk to their grandparents they might not understand that so and then because they speak teenager language they use teenager words or term or word choice with another group of people that seem to have we speak Thai language it's the same language but the meaning and then the way that we use it is different. Okay. Oh, sorry ค่ะ is it okay คะ now my voice and I am sorry for the construction noise because my neighbor just renovating their house this is one of the barrier too okay we talk about it นะคะ okay ค่ะ this is we talk about this one first this is a landscape okay of intercultural communication actually it's my version to simplify it normally the question that I asked you before okay, about the when you think about intercultural communication, what picture the first one come to your mind? We seem to think about someone who different from us. The first landmark or the first sign that we think about intercultural com is language. Okay, I put it in the outer ring because it easily observed, okay, and which is about our program too, about English language, which is more like the language that we use as a medium, okay, to interact with people from many cultures, okay. The next one is the first one. So the first one when we interact might be the language barrier, right? Especially we speak the same language, like Thai, English, English, Chinese, Thai. So, but just go back to that example that talk about teenager talk to their parents. Even they speak the same language, like Thai language, but there might be some language barriers when we refer to the same term but different meaning, or the same meaning but different term. Okay. Um, and also back to another example about males and females. The way that males and female use language is different too. Okay. Based on the research, say that females seem to use a lot of adjectives and some emotional terms. Okay. Because seem to focus more relations or relationships, okay. Why for males seem to use more like quantity terms, straightforward terms, or word choice. Even speak the same language. I don't remember what I read from, but they say that males and female they speak the same language, but actually it seems like indifferent. It's a different one, okay. Um, Okay, so the first one, language barriers, it in things that you can experience first in the intercultural com. Another one is communication barriers. This is a big thing. It might take like many hours to go through it. But when we talk about the communication and language is different. Language, it's more like we talk about the skill, the knowledge about the language, certain language. But communications is more about behavior, how you apply the language in the interaction and when you communicate. Okay, move on to the inner ring, the smaller one. You can see that I put culture um in the inside, okay, the whole landscape. Actually, it could some that you see you might question why I don't put it the outside, okay, as the first ring, okay, from the outside. Because for me, I think that is the key point of to be effective in the cultural communication is in a way that um we have to think about culture that carried by a person, okay. One person they carry many cultures in them. So I put it as a part of more like individual, okay. Um, in the smallest ring or circle, okay, it is we just to be effective, we have to be sensitive to be aware of differences in terms of culture, in terms of individual differences. It includes um, characteristic, personalities, abilities, what else? Skills, okay. It's a part of that. I put some of the box, the little box, okay. For identity, do you think identity is a part of what? It should be put in language, communication, or um individual or culture ค่ะคิดว่ามันควรจะอยู่ตรงไหนคะ identity it could be language, okay. Um, but for this one, it could be language, it could be communication, but a part of it, for identity, it's kind of complicated. For identity, it's related to all because when we talk about how, yeah, depend how you divide it. Yes, that's right. Normally when we talk about identity, we have two kinds, okay. People want to stand out from others. that we call personal identity. Okay, you have certain something in you that you see yourself different from others. That we call personal identity. It depends on how you identify yourself with certain groups that you will belong to. That's a part of individual. Another type of identity is social identities. Okay, it's how you define yourself to a group. That one is a part that people want to be similar, to be a part of the group. You want to blend in. So if you identify with yourself with a certain language, okay, that is a part of um, the group identity. So for identity, it could be personal level and also group level. The next one is media ค่ะ You think media is a part of language? We should put in a language, communication or culture in individual differences ค่ะ Media or communication technologies like AI. Now we have AI, right? This one, related to the course that I don't it's the EG7, the one that talk about the pragmatics. Okay, I don't remember um the code exactly. Yes ค่ะ Thank you ค่ะอาจารย์ภาษาพงศ์ media is a part of communication because the way that you communicate is influenced a lot by media. Um, um, this is going to be a long story because in communication process, we have four elements. Okay, the process that you interact with someone or communicate to someone, started from people who encode the message and people who decode it, source and receiver. The sender and the receiver actually are the same, okay, because you send and you receive at the same time. The next one is the channel that you use to communicate. In the past, before we have communication technologies, we have like face to face. That's the only way that we can communicate. It's a only channel that we have. Then we have like print, we have like telephone, that is more channels. Now we have social media. Okay. So the channel that you use also influence the way that you communicate too. Another one is the message, which also related to language to the message that you send for when you communicate. It's influenced by all of it. So they say that these four components, they when you change one component, it influences the whole process. I talk about it later. Okay. So for this one, media is a part of communication. Next one ค่ะ context ค่ะ context is a part of what? Is this culture or this is communication? This one is tricky too, okay? Because it depends on how you define the context. We have many types of context. If it is a cultural context, it's a part of this. If it is more like physical context, it could be a part of communication. Okay? So for this one, the landscape is that basically when we talk about the intercultural communication to be effective, we have to be aware of language differences or commonalities, okay? Communication and also culture and individual, okay, all together. Um, this is what I talk about, okay? This is another um it's more like the picture of the communication process. Actually, barrier could come from the people who send the message, people who receive the message. Barrier could come from channel, like I just talked about the noise from the construction from my neighbor. Okay, the barrier could come from the message itself, maybe the language that you use, the word choice that you use, maybe the term that you use between like teenager and also a grandparent, or maybe the amount of the message could be barrier too. The one that the barrier seem to be the big problem of barrier in the cultural communication is from the sender and receiver. The main one could be like ethnocentrism, okay, stereotyping, prejudice. Okay, those are the things that if you speak, if you construct the message with certain kind of some word that seem to be labeling or stereotyping or show some ethnocentric, the receiver might I mean the whole communication process might not effective. So this one, the barrier is when because people are the one who construct the message, the way that you think about the other person in terms of differences, in terms of classification that we talked about earlier in terms of how you evaluate them, okay, based on the classification or levels. Those influence the way that you construct the message, the word choice and language that you use. Okay. Think about this one. This one, what I want to talk about. When we talk about the intercultural communication, we talk about we focus on differences, but actually, I would like to I would like you to rethink the term culture in a way that normally we see culture as a group practice, and then we tend to categorize in a way that these people belong to this group, and then so they hold this kind of culture values for this group. It's more like you put people to fit in the group practice of a certain culture. That's the way we think about culture. But for me, I want to focus on the inner ring, the smallest circle that's focus on in terms of individual that they have many cultures in them. So rather than just use a group practice to explain a member, just make it the other way around to look at the member and try to see what they have in common to this to that group, okay, the characteristic that hold by that group. Because I put it there, cultures within culture, because related to identity, people have many identities at the same time. So we don't know until they tell you that they identify themselves to this group and that group. So to be effective in intercultural communication, it might too fast to jump to the conclusion that they look like this and they seem to fit and hold on to this kind of values that belong to this group, this culture. So they have many cultures in them. Like for example, you might know someone who are a marathon runner. Okay, they have their culture too. Okay, hold on to it. And those culture, when they internalize, they might have their lifestyle, the way that they eat, the way that they exercise, different from non-marathon runner. Okay, when they talk with their in-group member, they talk about a certain thing, a certain experience that they go through, the same thing. Okay, they talk about what brand for the shoe that should be used in a marathon. They talk about the bib, they talk about the event, the well-known marathon event. So if you listen to them talk about that, you're going to be the out group. They're going to be the in group, that they understand what they talk about. But for us, even the same language, when we hear they talk about it, we don't know. Okay. Another example could be like if you know butter bear, okay, or in Thai we call mee ner. Okay. Mee ner is another cultural group, okay, that they have certain products, certain values that they hold on to. They know where to find the product. Like for me, one of my friends is a part of mee ner, okay, a fan club or group, okay, that's that group. And then I want to buy some of the product from Mina as a gift to another person. I don't know where to find it. I tried to look around, but I couldn't find one. So I have to ask the in group, okay, if we want to buy it for someone who are the fan club of Butter Bear, okay, what kind of things that I should buy, and then they gonna be happy, and where can I find it? So those are the things that there's some practice values and behavior in that group that they carry as a culture and related to identity. So if we think about culture in this way, the way that you see intercultural communication could be someone who looks similar to you, but they hold different values and practice and also the beliefs. Like for example, people from the big city, okay, in Thailand, maybe for example from Bangkok, and go out to other provinces, and then maybe you relocate there, okay, work there. You're gonna and then you interact with those people in local community. That is a part of intercultural communication too. We speak the same language. We look alike, okay. We have we share something in common from Thai culture as a dominant culture, okay. But we also hold on to some values, practice, belief that belong to local culture too, or non-dominant culture. So that's why if we think about culture in this way, in a way that look at a person first, what cultural groups that they belong to, they tell us that they belong to, rather than just see a culture as a more like group practice and put people in there. You're gonna see that actually in the cultural communication, it's around you. Okay, it's more like you see it every day. And then if we are aware of that, and we're gonna be more sensitive to the language, the word choice, the way that we communicate with them, and also um, um, to know their identity and be effective more in the cultural communication. Actually, I have many slides, but I think we don't have time. We have only 10 minutes left. Actually, we have a lot in terms of globalization, okay, that influence the way that we communicate across culture, okay, because um, there might be some issue that when we talk about globalization comes into play because of nowadays we have the mediated communication, because the way that communicates is online. So the culture from another society could come in, okay, could go through and blend in with the local culture. And also some of the issue that seem to be far away from a certain society, it could be something that should talk about it, okay, because the globalization and with the media, it just bring you in the cultural communication to your home. You can interact with anyone from different culture in in a country or from other countries too. So for this one, I don't have time to go through, but another thing is that about cultural communicate intercultural communication competence. Okay, this is another term that we talk a lot in intercultural communication, because to be competent in intercultural communication, we have many theoretical concepts. Okay, normally talk about the well known it's Michael Byram, okay, Deardorff, and also some other perspective like from communication perspective. Spielberg and Kupak, okay, but something that share among many perspective. It's about to be competent in intercultural communication. You have to we have to talk about the knowledge, okay, about certain culture. We have to talk about the attitude, okay, uh, the way that you see yourself, and also people who different hold different sets of values and behavior from you, okay, and also skills. Some of them might talk about the motivation that you have to what motivates you to interact with someone, okay, who come from another culture. So in terms of that, it's another one we call it ICC, okay. We talk about it a lot, and then there are many research topic on that. Um, I think actually I have the some of the measure, okay, that talk about the ICC, okay. You see it, there are 10 items. This is a one that from one of the measure There's another one that well known from Byram's scale for the ICC. So for this one, if you read through, you're gonna see that actually this study they tried to develop this measure from 300 participants, and they started with 15 items, and after the analysis, they have just 10 items that reliable and valid. The reliability of this scale is around zero point 0.8, which is high. So for this one, if you look through, it's just more like to how you see yourself when you interact with someone from different culture. They ask you about like someone around you from other culture or your own culture. How is it? Do you think it's difficult to interact with some other people from different culture or not? Those are the one that you can more like to see what level that you have. Okay, the high score is going to be above 36. It means that you have high ICC. The 10 of lowest score, lower ICC seem to be below 23. There's some more like technical score in a way that for some item it's negative item. When you rate it, you have to reword the score. For me, get more like moderate. Okay, I just tried it this morning. Okay, if you want this material, okay, I can share it later on. I think yeah, I I will stop here. Okay. Actually, there are many more things that I plan to talk about it, but we don't have time. But it's just more like to give you overview about intercultural communication. And if you want to know more, I mean, in detail and in a certain context, like for work, for translation, talk also in everyday life, the pragmatics and the media. Okay. Maybe just study with us. Okay. Take some courses. Maybe MAP or PhD. Okay. Study with us and they take the course. Some courses in intercultural communication. So I saved 5 minutes. Okay, for any question, comment, or suggestion. Thank you,ค่ะ. Continuing from your explanation, this means variation of IC and its relevant term, e.g., culture, language, communication, context. Emerge even within the same authentic speech. Yes,ค่ะ. Because yes, that's the point. That's the goal to be effective in the cultural communication because um if you look at a person then you try to know know more about them in terms of language, in terms of I mean just one person language also identities that they say that they belong to, they tell you that they belong to, and maybe you observe from when you interact with them. It's just more like you're gonna see cultural differences even we speak the same language. Mm. Like for example, we are Thai and then we hold on to some type core values as a dominant culture, but each of us hold on to it at different degree, okay? Or maybe plus your personal background that you might have experienced that internalize other culture. Maybe you don't live in Thailand when you were young, okay? You might internalize some other cultures values in you, but you also hold the Thai culture values too. So in you as a Thai person, you identify yourself that you are Thai, but being Thai for you is different from being Thai from other members in Thai culture. That is the example. Any other suggestion, comments, or questions? You may type in the chat. Okay. Sorry that the courses on the description seem to be so small. Okay. So you the one that what we talk about that I went through today, it's we talk about identity, culture, language, right? We mentioned a bit about media, how it influences the way that people interact and people see each other as a member of different cultural groups. Okay, in terms of this one, in terms of organizational setting, this one we might not touch on that much. But again, it depends on the work context that you have. Some of the organization they have their culture, they have their organizational identity, and then when you work in there, it's something that to think about it too, to be aware because. When we talk about that, if you hold on a certain identity, your personal identity, and then you have to see whether you fit into the organization or not. It's something to interesting to study too. Oh, one of the thing, the last thing is that some of the topic, research topic. Okay, there is one more in. Yes ค่ะ I'm gonna talk about the research topic ที่อาจารย์พัศพงศ์asked about can a thesis on ICC be conducted with a very small group of subject or participant like a case study yes ค่ะ because there's one of my student they did um the intercultural communication research about their workplace. So they interviewed just people in their workplace, a small group. One of them, they work in the embassy, so they want to study in terms of the language that the interaction between Thai and non-Thai and the way that they use humor too. That is, they interview like small group of people. I think around, if I don't if I remember it right, it's around 10 person or participants as case study. Another one, she worked in the export import company, and she is a coordinator between Thai office and office in Singapore. So she just observed some of the barriers and try to study that. What are the barriers between when they communicate between Singapore employee in Singapore and then employees in Thai, okay, Thai employee and Singaporean employees. And then she interviewed that too. So it's a small group of participants. Another another one, she did the topic about the intercultural communication in English class. Okay, that one she think that being classified in being identified to like certain cultural dimension like collectivism, individualism also influence the way that student learn English language because the role that they see themselves and the roles of the teacher and those influence the way that interact between teacher and student and also they practice the skill development too. So yes, but that one, the one that is a talk about it's a questionnaire, so it seemed to be a couple hundred student, but it can be actually the ICC can be studied as a small group participant and also in a quantitative too, okay, design. Okay. Any other questions? So if no more question, I think it's about time, okay? So I stop sharing, okay? And thank you for joining me today, okay? And then hope to see you sometime in the future, okay? At and to become a part of ELS family. Thank you ค่ะ
Thank you very much ครับขอบคุณมากครับสวัสดีครับ
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ